Welcome back to another episode of Career Transition Talk with Toyin. And now today I have a very exciting topic, which is on cloud computing. Okay, so a lot of people have actually contacted me. They want to find out how they can become a cloud expert, they can become a cloud architect. A lot of people are confused as to, oh, do they really have to have a foundational knowledge in computer science or in IT thereabout? But the exciting news is you don't really need to have any prerequisite, right? One of the major things that you should just know is you can actually transition into IT as long as you are dedicated. So if you are dedicated, you understand the paths that you should follow, you can actually land to your career dream, role. So let's talk about cloud computing. What exactly is cloud computing? Well, I would try as much as possible to break it down for a layman. So it's more like putting an organization's activities, in the cloud. So it's off from on-premise. You are moving away from on-premise to the cloud. So that means your storage, your operational activities, your infrastructures can now be managed in the cloud. So because of time, we can actually deviate into this later on in the next episodes. But let's really look at the different platforms that we have under the cloud computing. So under the cloud platform, we have different vendors. There are several vendors that actually offer cloud computing skills. So the first we're going to look into is the Amazon Web Services. I'm sure a lot of us have heard about Amazon Web Services. Yes, they have their own platform, and a lot of people can actually start their career in cloud computing, under that same role. Now, that part rather. Now you can look into the Microsoft platform. The Microsoft platform is the Azure, right? Some people pronounce it Azure, some say Azure, some say Azure. So depending on your own pronunciation, for me, I say Azure, right? So if I'm not correct, please just hold it. You can, DM me and give me the right pronunciation. So for that, Microsoft has their own cloud service also. Now we all have another platform which is also owned by the Google. That's the Google platform. Now, you can actually deviate into any of these platforms. I advise my team, people that I counsel, to please just identify a pathway. It helps you. It helps you stay a bit more focused. Yes, you can have an holistic understanding of every other ones, but it's important that you have a grasp on a particular platform. Now let's dive into the different pathways in the AWS. For the AWS, for you to be able to acquire a particular skill, you need to really identify what role would you like to specialize in. And this also applies to almost all other platforms, right? So for instance, you want to go into, you want to become a DevOps engineer, you want to become an architect, you want to become a database specialist, or the likes. So they have different pathways. However, the major fundamental skills that you should acquire is the cloud computing, which is the fundamentals, AWS cloud computing. Now, so when you're done with your AWS cloud computing, we usually advise that you take it a step further to your AWS solutions architect. So if you are able to do your cloud computing fundamentals and then you dive into your AWS solutions architect, then you can now look at the different paths that you would want to take. You can now decide to go the route of the SysOps, you want to go the route of DevOps, you want to go the route of architect or database or artificial intelligence. There's so many paths that you can specialize in. So quickly we'll jump into the Microsoft. Now for the Microsoft pathway, you have what you call the Azure 900, which is the fundamentals. Azure 900 is the fundamentals. So that's where you start from. It gives you the basic knowledge of how the platform, what the operations that you need to know, the prerequisites that you need to have, and that's the prerequisite knowledge, right? And then when you're done with that, you can actually you move into your Azure 104. Right, the Azure 104 is the administrative aspect. It gives you more ideas as to how to administer, or how to, manage an Azure platform. And then you go down to your design, you go to your solutions architect and the likes. The same thing for your Google. You do your fundamentals for your Google, and then you move to the next, depending on the areas that you're interested in. I hope I've been able to give you a tip for today. Stay tuned, get connected to me, follow me on the Instagram, my YouTube channels, and for more information, please stay tuned. Thank you.